All right, there we go. It looks scruffy today. Scruffy. All right. Okay, got it. Going live there. Chandel,
Hi,
you're here.
I'm here.
Is here. Yeah. Right on. Cool. So I did, you know what I did? I th I just wrote this out. Is I kind of wrote out a little call transcript from this morning. I just started making phone calls this morning to reaching out to some restaurants, and now I didn't get through to the decision makers yet, but I did get contact information. I did get emails, phone numbers, stuff like that of the people who I need to talk to at the restaurants so that I can reach out to them and set an appointment so I can come in and do a demo or do a sale or whatever it is. So I'll pop in and then I wrote it all out. So if you like, so we're just gonna let people come in here and as we go through there, we can talk about this, and I'd love to just have more of a chat today as well of what's going on, and if anybody has any ideas or anything like that. And then I want to check in, do a checkup on if see what if anyone did anything like if anyone put together their like customer avatar, if they thought about that more, about who they want to reach out to and what are those persons like details and everything. Um, and if they want to share those things too, that'd be cool. And then we'll also share this transcript, and if we have time to, maybe we can do a fake phone call between the two of us. But I think I'd like to do it on Wednesday, and I was thinking maybe on Wednesday if we can, maybe I'll just try make some phone calls too. I know my reception here in the basement is terrible for making phone calls.
Yeah,
Don't know how it'll work with using my mic here and on high level, but let's see what happens. Anyways, I can probably do that because it's this morning I was sitting at the table and we were talking about, hey, this is what we're gonna do. Um, I'm like, maybe we should just call some restaurants because or call some businesses and just chat with them. And then all of a sudden, Shan's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "I'm calling restaurants." So like, she's like, "Is that a restaurant right now?" I'm like, "Yep." And then that one didn't go through, and then I called another one, and again, yeah, I didn't talk to an actual manager because they had somebody like prep cook in there who answered the phone or whatever, but had a little chat with him, got the information of the managers for both their locations, know their names, so I can get their phone numbers probably pretty easy. And then I also got the times and details, dates of when the managers are going to be in too. So then I crafted a little email too. I'm going to send over to them, and we'll just keep seeing how that goes.
I'd love if anybody wants to jump on and chat about where things are at as far as sales go.
Exactly.
And this was basically 21 days to 3K. So I'd love to hear what are some wins that you've had? What are some meetings that you've had that maybe didn't go as well as you wanted? Maybe we can give you feedback there. Maybe it's around your offer. Let's just check in and see like who's got anything to share. I'm just gonna check out chat here.
Mm-hmm.
Have you been doing any of the visualization stuff? Have you been marking things down on your money map? Um, yeah, let's just get a really good gauge for
Yeah, I
where
know for me,
we
like
are
even
at.
even just talking about even just talking about the visualization part, I know I did it a few more times this week than I've normally done it. And I think just because we started chatting about it again, right? And it just kept it at
Mhm.
the top of my mind. So last week I definitely did it a few more times. And again, if you guys weren't here next last Monday, the visualization thing is really simple. Was it last Monday or the first Monday that we did this? I don't really remember. Might have been the first Monday, but the visualization thing is visualizing your whole sales process of reaching out to a customer, getting a customer, talking to a customer, closing a customer, and getting that money in your hand, right? And you can do that within like 5-10 minutes, just going somewhere, taking a little break because it's always good to get away from your computer and whatever. Just go sit on a couch, lay on a couch, something like that for like 5 minutes,
On the
close your
beach.
eyes. On the beach, yeah. Go drive 25 minutes, go to the beach, and then go do that. Go lay in the sun for a bit, and do it. Get your vitamin D at the same time. But just close your eyes and think about that. Give a little bit of gratitude for a minute or two. Appreciate the things that you have. Say, hey, I'm thankful for this. I'm grateful for this. I'm grateful for that. And then go into thinking about, I'm going to send messages out to these people, and this is what this is going to look like. Here's how I'm going to use the prospecting tool. I'm going to find that person. I'm going to send a message out to that person. They're going to contact me back. They're going to say yes. They're going to love. They're going to set that. We're going to set up that demo, that appointment. I'm going to go in. I'm going to walk in. I'm going to talk to them, or I'm just going to do it online. I'm going to do it through Zoom. They're going to be. You see their face. They're really happy. They're really excited. They're like, "This is awesome. You're talking great. You're feeling great. You're doing all that." And then you're closing. You're the person's like, "Yeah, how do I sign up?" And you're like, "Here's how you do it. Here, go put your credit card information in. I'll get you set up as soon as you do that kind of thing." Right. And then you panic. No, but but visualizing that whole process and having like a um really good flow, right? Imagining it. Because again, your brain doesn't know the difference between doing something in person or visualizing that entire process. Your brain doesn't know the difference when you're sleeping, real life versus a dream. Your brain doesn't know the difference. That's why sometimes you wake up and you're like, that dream was so real, right? Because your brain doesn't know the difference. You're like, your conscious brain knows the difference. When you're awake, you can tell the difference between it, but your subconscious brain, the part that's going to guide you, and the subconscious part of your brain that ultimately makes a lot of your decisions based on how you feel and your emotions and everything like that. You're training that. So think about that. Every time you do that visualization, you're training your brain to normalize reaching out to people, to normalize making a sale, to normalize asking for money, to normalize walking into a business, right? The more you do it, the more you experience it, the more you normalize it. And I say it that way because, and this just popped into my head, is um I saw a post earlier today, and it was like, why don't people do more with the courses, posts, podcasts, YouTube videos and stuff that they watch and listen to all the time? And most people said, well, it's because they're lazy, right? They're lazy and they're not willing to do the work. But I don't think it's true. I think it comes across as being lazy, but it's procrastination out of fear. That fear of rejection, the stuff that we talked about, I think it was last weekend or Monday, was the fear of rejection, right? You don't want to look like an idiot when you do those things. And because of that, your brain wants to keep you safe. That part of your lizard brain, your chimpanzee brain, all it wants to do is keep you safe. It evolved hundreds of thousands of years ago. And it wants to keep you safe from change, because hundreds of thousands of years ago, if something changed, it probably meant death for your tribe. If there was something big that
Yeah.
changed and it was out of the normal, like food was scarce, or we had to go to a new hunting ground, or we needed to go somewhere else, it could mean that saber-toothed tigers were going to eat us. But now we live in this world
Yeah.
of no saber-toothed tigers, and our brain still wants to keep us safe. And by keeping us safe, it wants to keep us going on the same path that we're on. And I joked about this with Chandel earlier today. She didn't laugh, but I thought it was kind of funny. was that um our brains are like, hey, you know what? You're still alive. We've been doing a pretty good job so far. You might be struggling. You might be unhappy about where you're at. You may want to do more, but your brain is like, no, it's cool. We're alive. That's all that matters. Right. So it's trying to keep us safe, and it doesn't want us to change because it doesn't know what's going to happen. So if we go out and we try to change, our brain is like, what's happening? I don't get this. There's a possibility we're going to die right now. And it's like, dude, I'm just making a phone call. That's all I'm doing, is I'm just trying to talk to somebody else, another human being. And I kind of got sidetracked there about it. But what was I saying? It was,
Just the fear of stepping out and doing something different, and
yeah,
stepping outside of your comfort zone. And it's so true. Back in the day, if you did step outside of your tribe with a different idea, You could be thrown off a cliff for that. The tribe could kick you right out, right? Like
You
if
could
you had a
have.
different idea that they didn't accept.
Your
And
brain just
that's
wants to
really
keep you safe.
real. Yeah.
Yeah, your
Yeah,
brain
for
just wants to keep
sure.
you safe. So, and it keeps us safe by making us do the same thing that we do every single day. And it may, oh yeah, that's what it is. It makes us feel safe because it's trying to keep us safe by maintaining the habits that we already have. But by visualizing and even through affirmations and stuff like that, where you're trying to train that part of your brain to normalize doing the things that you need to do, getting out of your comfort zone and doing something different, your brain is going to adapt to that and it'll be like, this is the new normal, right? It takes a while though, too. It's not a 30-day thing. It's not a 21-day thing. It's not a 30-day thing. It ends up being like a 60-day to 90-day thing where you need to keep doing things for that long for a new habit to form and for your brain to normalize it and to be comfortable with it. It takes a long time, right? Because you didn't get the way that you were just overnight. It evolved over many, many years. You changed over many, many years. And now we want to change it in a different direction. We want to go out and we want to get sales and we want to push ourselves in that direction. So even for the simple act of stopping in somewhere, having a conversation with somebody we don't know and telling them about something that we have that they may or may not be interested in, it's a scary thing because we're pushing ourselves into that um I can't think of the word that I want to say, but we're pushing ourselves towards rejection, right? But
Yeah.
that's how we grow, and that's where the money is.
Yeah.
When we're moving to the when we're going towards the path of most friction in our brain, because we know we need to do it, but it's like scary. So,
Yeah.
that's just our brains trying to keep us safe, but our brains don't know things.
Hmm. And I think, it's important as well to always remember, I find it way easier to reach out and start conversations with businesses when I really truly do believe that what we have can help them, that it's not just about making a sale, that I really truly do believe that we're giving this business or this client a way to grow, a way to help them, right? Um, and giving them what they actually do want, right? So really
Right.
speaking to that one type of person, that's where the more you can get clear around who you want to help, what their problems are, what they go through every day, where they're at, and then presenting things in a way that will suit that person. And I think that that's why, inside of the high level group, for example, you see people asking all the time for demos and sales scripts and all of that stuff, and it's hard to deliver on those things, mainly because it just depends on who you're speaking to, right? There's different questions that we can ask to lead in to begin a conversation, but then once we're in a sales conversation, it's really speaking to that person, right?
Yeah.
But the more confident, the more of those scenarios you go through, and the more experience you get, the better you get at that as well. I can
So
see that Samantha posted that she's putting together a huge proposal right now and she's feeling super nervous. If you're available to jump on, Sam, we can chat about it and go over this with you if you want. But I wanted to just say something that with our kids, I talk to them about this a lot. Did you guys know that the feeling of nervousness and the feeling of excitement are actually the same thing? The feeling of nervous and being excited, it's really the same thing. It's just looking at it in a different way, right? So nervousness is probably, we don't want to fuck this up, right? There's pressure there. but maybe it's also excitement around meeting this new person, getting to know them more, the excitement of showing them what you can do for them instead of feeling nervous.
Samantha said I did know that, but it's still so uncomfortable. It is,
Yeah. Well, if you want to jump on and chat about who you're meeting with and talk about what you're pitching, then jump on in. That's what we're here for. We can do that today. I'd love that. Brian said last week was a little slow. However, this week should pick up pretty good. You know what? We find that in our agency as well.
Yeah,
The third week of the month, always like it feels quiet,
it
for
definitely
sure. But
feels
this is
slower.
the
And then I
last
know the
week of the
last week.
month. So
And I've been
yeah,
chatting with more agency owners as well lately to just about that topic. And I've talked with probably three or four people in last week who it's exactly the same thing. Like
yeah,
middle of the month is like the slowest, especially for like when you have SaaS come, like when you have recurring payments coming in. We noticed that at the start of the month there's way more payments coming in, and then it goes slow. It goes good, then it slows down in the middle, and then it comes back up at the end. And it's just, I think it's just like, I think that's human psychology with whether it's with ourselves or the flow of business or whatever. The start of the month, new time, new thing. We're going to start something. We're going to get out there. We're going to talk to people. We're going to do all this thing. Middle of the month, we're like, yeah, we made it through the start of the month. Now it's the middle of the month and things kind of
yeah,
slow down. People are just doing their thing. And then it gets to the end of the month. And whether it's you or the business owners, we're like, we need to do more stuff. It's at the end of the month. We got to get things rolling. We got to get out there and do those things. And I think
yeah,
the ideal situation is that you have that consistency coming in every week, not just certain weeks of the month. But I've definitely talked with a number of people who have the same cycle. Lots at the start, medium, slow in the middle. Third week is slower, and then it comes back up in that last week to balance kind of things out. But it's the ideal is like let's try and get something consistent there too.
yeah. Okay, Sam, how are you? What do you got going on? Who are you meeting with?
Oh,
Oh,
you're
let's see
muted.
here.
Can't hear you.
I think you should be good now. No, why can't we hear her?
I don't know. Um, Not muted. Can you just do it in sign language? No. I'll interpret. I actually have no idea.
I wonder if you need to turn your microphone on somehow.
Yeah, you can always check in the bottom corner to see if it's working or not. Um, Yeah, so Sam, while you're doing that, I'm just gonna go over one little thing here. So just give me a big shout once you get that rolling. Okay, so one of the things I put together here is I'm going to basically try and document every phone call that I have with prospective customers here, and I think it's just going to be a good value. So this morning, randomly talking with Shan, she's like, we should, we really want to do that call between her and I, so we can do that. I don't know how accurate it's going to be, so I just wanted to reach out to a few different people and just see like, hey, if I call businesses, if I'm calling businesses, that'll be way better. A way better example than me trying to Shannon and I role playing through it, because we can run through it. But here I'm gonna write out some transcripts, and I'm gonna try and record more of my calls that I do and put them down. So one call I had this morning, I just gave him a shout. I called one place, nobody picked up, no voicemail, no text message, no nothing came out of it. It just rang like 18 times and nobody answered. Okay, so I tried to call a different location they had, and I got through, talked to somebody, and hey, I was just like, here's how the conversation went. And they were like, hey, good morning, restaurant name, how can I help you, right? And I'm like, hey, good morning, how are you doing today? And they're always, it's funny when you ask somebody who is like customer service or like who picks up the phone how they're doing today. They're like, they stumble for a minute. They're like, oh, I'm doing great. Nobody ever asks me that. I'm good. How are you doing today? Oh, I'm doing good. Awesome. Okay, so awesome, me too. So hey, I have a quick question for you. Are you the same restaurant as this other location, like on down the street? Because they end up having two locations, but they're slightly different. And I couldn't find one on Google. The one I was calling here, it took me like 5 minutes to try and find their name. So they're like, oh yeah, no, totally, we're a second location. I'm like, okay, well, your other website doesn't mention you at all. It doesn't. Well, I just gave them a couple things, right? Hey, you're not linked up on Google. So when I search one restaurant, this one doesn't come up. And when I actually go through to the website on the other one, it goes to a 404 page. But then also, there's no mention of this location at all from the other website. And then the other guy was like, "Oh, I'm like, so I don't know who could I talk to about that kind of thing." And he's like, "Oh, I don't know anything about that. I don't know." And so I'm like, "Okay, cool." But and I'm like, okay, well, I bring it up because I'm local to Kelowna. I'm local in the city here, and I do marketing for restaurants. And I was just wondering who I can chat with about helping you get that fixed up, or like who could I talk to about marketing your location? Oh, and he's like, oh, okay. Yeah, no, you can talk to our manager. I'm like, okay, cool. And do you have a way I can get in touch with him? And he's like, yeah, here's his email address. That's probably the best way. So he gives me his email address, and I'm like, okay, cool. His name is Aaron. He's a manager here at both places. And then he's like, okay, no, he's just a manager here. I'm like, okay, cool. Do you know who the manager is at the other location? Because they got two locations, two different managers. I think there's two different people that I'm gonna have to talk to, right? Because we could do marketing for either both or separately, right? So I ended up getting the name of the manager there, which was actually on the other website. It was just a kind of conversation thing that I could throw in there. So then I asked, yeah, so do you know when manager for your location is going to be in? Like, when can I like realistically try and get like meet him if he's in? And he's like, oh yeah, he should be in on Tuesdays, kind of thing. I'm like, okay, cool. So, and then I asked what the guy's name was, Chris, and then I just said thanks again. I'm gonna follow up with Aaron, see if I can get a time to chat with them. And you have an awesome rest of your day. I'm gonna have to stop in soon because they have the absolutely most amazing burritos. It's ridiculous. They're like huge and sauce and all different kinds of things on them. But it's awesome. So I'm like, yeah, okay, perfect. So talk to you soon. So this is the email that I wrote. I'm going to send this over to Aaron, basically just saying, hey, I was talking with Chris about your delicious burritos, and he said to send you a message. Um, so we were also talking about how your two locations don't link up on Google and how there's no mention of this location to the other one, restaurant names, etc. It actually took me looking up Mexican restaurants near me to even find you guys. I was looking up the name of the restaurant, and that second location would not come up at all. So I'm just reaching out because I live here in Kelowna. I do marketing for restaurants, and I want to stop in and introduce myself this week. I live right by your location and would love to come grab a burrito and get some feedback on what we've been working on. We can do some pretty cool stuff with getting you more well known in the community, building a loyalty system, doing advertising online, building a list of your best customers. Let me know if you're around this week, and I'll pop in and give you a demo if you like. Talk to you soon, Jason. So I just sent that off. Haven't heard back from him. I know last Monday, not last Monday, the Monday before, I mentioned how I was in Kamloops and we were at a restaurant, and I just talked to a restaurant manager there, and she's like, yeah, totally, give me a call. So I just called her again, and she asked, I did my follow up with her, and she just said, I'm like, hey Kate, this is Jason Orban. You and I talked the other day. Could you? And then I was wondering if you're free this week for a quick call. And then I also just put through this in there because sometimes you'll get no response from something like this. But then if you just ask, hey, can you let me know if I got the right number? Because I'm not sure if I got this right or not. They'll at least reply and be like, oh yeah, no, totally, this is the right number, or something like that. Then you at least know that you're talking to the person. And then she did follow up and say, yeah, hey, thanks, perfect. Next couple of weeks are crazy. Can I text you next week? And I'm like, yeah, okay, for sure. So I just put it in my calendar that I'm going to follow up with Kate next week and get in touch with her. But just a reminder from that too is that the sales process for these things isn't always instant, right? So just know that if you go start talking to a manager or a restaurant or something like that, or a business owner or whatever, it might take 2 or 3 weeks to actually get that person on a call or do the demo or schedule a time to get in with them. I know there's been times where I've talked with people for like a month and a half to do it. So the whole point is like start more of the conversations and have those conversations rolling so that um you will start closing them, but you need to have all those conversations first, right? To just start the conversation, and that's all they have to be. And like a big thing about this, and a big thing about copywriting, sales, emails, all that, is just be conversational. Be very talk how you normally talk is what I would say, right? I write how I like to talk. I talk how I like to write. That kind of thing. Everyone always starts off very formal with their writing and emails and stuff like that. But I've almost noticed that I started writing emails like I text or like I send a messenger on Facebook. Like there's, I guess, to a point where there's no names, there's no thank yous, there's nothing. There's just messages back and forth now in email. But I think the important thing is just keep it very light, fun, interesting. Become across as like an interesting human being kind of thing when you're sending messages and stuff out. Like I see all the kind of try okay, last thing I'll say about it is if you're sending out emails to businesses, follow up is great. Continue on them because they might see the first one, they might not see the second one, they might not see the third one, but they might then finally see the fourth one that you send.
Yeah.
So follow up and consistency is super important. Keep it light and fresh and just kind of fun and conversational, rather than being trying to be super formal about something. I guess obviously it's going to depend on which business you talk to, but for most local businesses, remember, they're just like they're mostly the guy living next door to you. That's most local businesses, right? They're they're just the friends, the neighbors, stuff like that who you normally have a chat with. So just try it out and keep it conversational and easy and fun and throw some jokes in there and laugh a little. Okay, so that is just something I wanted to cover, and I'm going to keep this. Shan can link it in the doc, and I'll put some more other conversations in there that I have as well, and the follow up with those things. And if you guys can take those and use those, then do it.
Absolutely. And here's the thing. It's stuff that takes really 2 minutes, but that we spend all day procrastinating. Like it's stuff that we can
It's
put off all day long. But if you just pick up the phone, it's a minute, 2 minutes, just to reach out and start that conversation. So what I think too is that once you're onboarding clients and stuff like that, maybe that is why there's always kind of a lull because you sell, then you're onboarding, right? And you're setting
Mhm.
up and you're not doing that outreach anymore. So if you haven't yet, really go take that KPI, the tracking spreadsheet that I created for you guys and shared with you on our first kickoff call, and just do those quick things. I swear, if you spent a half an hour every day just reaching out, making a few quick phone calls, popping into a couple of places, the growth from that is going to be huge.
Mhm.
Oh, so Sam, can we try this again? Babe, do you know how to, if you hover over Sam's name under participants and then you
Asked to
write,
unmute.
yeah, maybe you could try and do that.
I asked. Yeah, I just did.
Can you hear me now?
Oh yeah.
Hi.
Is that like Verizon? Can you hear me now? Or something like that? Yeah. Zoom. Can you hear me now? Yeah.
We
Okay,
did it.
cool. Let's go. Yeah. So
Okay.
I can see that you're hiding in the garage today.
I am. I am. I'm gonna
Get away from your children for a few minutes.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I love it.
So I got
what's
this
going
woman
on?
on BNI,
Okay,
my
nice.
BNI networking group.
Yep, BNI is awesome.
And all of us ladies had to go to a Mary Kay party together. And so her and I just got to talking, and she was talking about how big her business is getting and how overwhelmed she is. And we were just, shooting the shit. And but anyways, she cleans 350 homes a week.
Oh
And
yeah.
yeah,
Amazing.
she's got 70 women that work for her, and she's very overwhelmed by the women, and they're doing crazy things. And last year she lost 200 grand on the women doing crazy stuff.
Okay.
The cleaning people that are working for her doing crazy stuff.
Yeah, like stealing or breaking stuff or wrecking cars. She's got 16 cars that they drive.
Oh yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. So today we met and it went really well. And I was there for almost 3 hours. And then she said, that she lost a ton of money last year and she's trying to get back on track and she wants to like level up and grow even more. And she does everything on paper. She's got nothing digital at all. She doesn't
Okay.
even have QuickBooks. So, which is shocking.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I was talking about the automations, and of course, I'm always leading with the loyalty program. And I just feel like as far as the women are concerned, I'm a big, SOPs gal. I feel like the rewards can be used to incentivize your staff
Yeah.
Totally.
to do stuff. So that's one of the packages that's one of the ways that I offer it to people. Um, anyway, she loves that. She loves the referral. She loves the whole thing. She also wants booking. And I know that the last call, I remember you saying, don't screw around with the booking in there.
Not necessarily. That was 100% for hair salons. And the only reason that is because if you, and it depends on the hair salon as well and the stylist, but as a hair salon and stylist, a lot of times they will double book themselves. And by double booking, meaning I will book one client for the first half, like for these 3 hours. And then after an hour, while that person's processing, I'll have another client sitting there. So this client A is sitting in a chair
Yeah.
over there letting her hair marinate. And then
Oh
I've
my
got
God, Jason.
and then I've got another client here who I'm doing the work for, right? I understand it. I just I don't do hair. You could tell. I just shaved mine off. I'm like, let's get rid of it. Let's go.
Letting it marinate.
You gotta marinate,
Steak.
let it like soak in the juices there a little bit.
So as far as though, so okay, if we're talking about the booking calendar for a cleaning company, Jay, where they service 350 homes a week, how would you
Yeah.
set up a
Well,
calendar
they would
in
need to have a
September?
different calendar probably for every they'd have to have a different calendar for each cleaner in there. And then where in those appointments, they would need to be booked in for house length of time, cleaning, that kind of stuff. So it still could be a service-based calendar because they're not going to be double booking themselves. So it would be a little bit easier. It could just be, and I'm assuming they're probably going to go in. It might be square footage. Anytime that we've had cleaners,
It's
they
square
do like an
footage.
initial clean, which costs so much, and then they're there for a certain number of hours per week based on square footage, and they could have two people in there doing the same cleaning job, right? Again, depending on the size of the house, but it could probably work out. They would just need to schedule like, hey, we're scheduling Susie to be at 455 McIntyre on Tuesday between 1 and 3, and then we're going to do Jane 455 McIntyre between 1 and 3 too. So they'd have to schedule, and for most likely, from my experience, is they have recurring events.
Yeah,
Like they're going to be at the same house, the same time every week.
Yeah.
The only
that's the
difference that
goal.
might change is you might have different staff in there too. So I'm not 100% familiar with exactly how um one of like a cleaning company's calendar would look for like automation and stuff. But I mean,
So
we can
currently,
figure
how
it
are
out for
they,
sure.
like currently, how is she
She's
keeping
got
that
a pad of
organized?
paper on her desk and she hand writes calendars every day and moves things around. A big part of the problem is that her business is growing and she does a really good job, but everything's on her and she's overwhelmed and she's like been in and out of the hospital. So she's
Yeah.
her stress levels. So she doesn't, it's the same thing that I'm learning right now is that you think initially that the pushback with digital marketing and stuff like that is that people don't understand and they're not tech savvy, when the real pushback is that they don't understand and they're afraid of being ripped off and they're afraid of someone else being in control of their business. She's afraid to hand over something that she doesn't understand to someone
Yeah.
else. So I'm there
Yeah.
like soothing her, but on the same token, I guess where I get super nervous is a couple things. One, would I be better telling her to download one of the 8 million booking automations that are on that she can buy for $50, or is she better off with me customizing it for her and having it all in one place? Because they really liked that everything's in that one
Yeah.
umbrella.
Yeah.
And they liked me listening to them. They liked me saying, yes, I can do this. But I don't know what to charge. I don't know how long it's going to take me to build it.
Yeah.
I also don't know what the hell I'm doing.
Yeah.
Do you know
Totally.
what I
Well,
mean? And I want to make sure I do a good job. And mostly I'm worried that I'm not, I want to, of course I want to make money and I need to make money. But on the same token, I'm afraid that I'm not going to charge enough and it's going to be so much work and I'm not
Yeah.
going to have that. Am
if
I making sense?
you need help, um, if you want somebody to help you set it up and stuff like that too, we can help you do the setup. Like, so I'm just going to say, for example, if you're like, hey, I want to onboard this lady, here's all the things that we want to do, but it's like, you're not confident that you want to go and do it. We can do that for you. You know what I mean? You can be like, okay, but then what we should talk about is talk about what's the budget going to be, kind of thing. And then
Right.
we can help you come up with the right budget. You can present it to her, be like, okay, this is what it's going to cost to onboard. I've done this with a number of people. For sure. It's like, okay, well, here's what it's going to cost to do all the onboarding and set up the custom calendars and do all this kind of stuff and make sure it's all set up properly. And then that can just be like onboarding fee that goes to us, whatever, and then you can do the monthly and set up and all that kind of stuff with them as
Yeah,
well.
that
And
would be
then
good.
add on whatever percentage you want for managing and onboarding, all that kind of stuff too.
Okay. So let's just take a quick second and take
Yeah.
a few steps back though. Okay. Woosah.
Woosah.
What are she's doing 350 cleans a week,
That's
right?
just on her. That's just on the residential. The big part of her business is the commercial, and that's a whole nother thing. This woman
Mhm.
is like, but she says that when she burned through the 200 grand, that all of her cushion is gone. And now she's just on her weekly cash flow and she's afraid. And so I
Okay.
said, what is your budget right now? And she said, I'll pay whatever. I just need to get this done. I need to improve my life and I want to grow my business properly. And I said, okay.
Okay. Okay.
But I don't take that as just license to go home and
No. Okay. So again, like financially speaking, what is the goal? And what is the actual thing? Like when she's like, I just want to get this set up. Is it actually everything, or would it be very overwhelming for you to go and say to her, we're going to take everything and bring it all online, and we're going to create 70 different calendars for all of your staff, and we're going to do this, and we're going to do that, and we're going to do this, and we're going to do that, versus is there like one piece that you could start now? Like,
well,
so is database reactivation something that she would be in? How many people are slipping through the cracks? Does she have space left in her week to book more? Are they fully booked? Is there space to keep those 70 people busy?
well, the two things that we talked about that would help her the most right now, because we talked about that. This is the big picture, what she wants to do.
Mhm.
She wants a website. She doesn't have one. She needs social media. She wants to do the loyalty and rewards. But where we're going to start is with the booking calendar and missed call text back, because right now she's hand texting everybody all day long and booking
Okay.
with her pen and paper. So those are the two we're gonna bill, I'm gonna send her an invoice for all of it up front. And those are the two places we're gonna start. Missed call, text back, and the booking calendar.
Perfect.
Okay, cool. So booking calendar is something that we'll want to come up with a plan for, right?
Yeah.
Like, and it should be something that you want to look at doing then, something that's easily repeatable. So if we create one calendar and then there's like booking automations or whatever, then there's got to be a way to create that once and then just keep duplicating it as she hires staff, as something that's easily repeatable, right? Then invoicing. Like I would also be looking at that, the
Oh yeah, I
invoicing
forgot about that.
piece.
She needs invoicing. I totally forgot about that.
How does she do invoicing now?
They don't, I don't know. I don't know. I asked, she
It's
doesn't,
cash.
I guess.
Or checks, or maybe she takes
Yeah, a lot of
card over the
checks
phone or something.
and Zelle. I think she said Zelle.
I'm looking up all the things as you talk.
Yeah, she told when we were at the,
Oh,
now
Zelle, yeah, fast and easy way to send and receive money.
it's like
It's like
Venmo.
Venmo
Yeah.
type thing, right?
Yes.
Okay. So have you asked the question though, if she's got 70 staff, this is where we're going to come up with but you can't ask somebody what their budget is. They don't know what their budget is. Right.
Okay.
Right?
Well, they don't know how much things are going to cost.
They have no idea.
Yeah. You can,
So
I mean, yeah, you can ask budget, but
if we say 350 cleans a week on the residential side, okay, what is the average ticket? What is the average clean worth?
She told me that. It's in my text messages.
That's what we want.
oh, Brian said Zelle it connects directly to your bank account and there's no fee. There this is a rabbit hole
If
doing
you're limited to
custom sometimes
1,500 a day.
sometimes you don't have to be everything to everybody, even if you can do it, create systems you can duplicate.
Yeah.
So, but Zelle connects directly to your bank account with no transaction fee, but you're limited to $1,500 a day.
So does she charge per hour then? Like, what is the average? Like, let's take a look and see what a week in the life of this business is, right?
She gave me I asked her for her average ticket, her transaction count.
Okay.
And she gave me a bunch of stuff. They don't know. They've never been asked these questions before.
Okay, beautiful, beautiful. So if there's 70 employees, are they all full-time?
Yes.
Okay, so let's just say 70 employees, full-time. What is she paying them?
I didn't ask.
Or what do they charge?
Well, I want to know what she's charging and what she's paying them. Right?
So, yeah.
So 70 times 40 hours a week
It's probably somewhere between $30 and $50 an hour, I would guess.
is 2,800 hours in a week if she's got 70 employees.
I seriously doubt it's that much. I mean, we're, like I say, we're on the border here and everybody's illegal. So that's part of where her 200 grand went, is because none of these people are licensed to drive her cars.
Okay.
So when they wreck them, it's a big deal. And so them getting paid a decent wage is probably not a thing. And do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, absolutely.
It's just a reality of it.
So she's paying them cash under the table, most likely.
She's handwriting checks.
Might be,
yeah. So let's just guess. That would be
$12 an hour.
$12 an hour. Okay, perfect. Let's start with that. Okay, let's just say 350 cleans a week. What do you think the average is there for what she's charging per clean?
$120 a week.
$120 a week. Perfect. Okay, so we've got 350 cleans at 120 a week. That's 350 cleans times 120 is $42,000 a week. $350 cleans, let's just say on average, a clean is 2 hours. Okay, stick with me. 350 times 2 is 700 hours that they're booked. If we're saying an average clean is 2 hours, currently they're booked for 700 hours a week.
Yeah.
Okay, per week. There are 70 employees providing 700 hours a week. That means that on average, they're only working about 10 hours each a week. Right?
She's cleaning 350 houses, and that doesn't cover her commercial property.
Okay, so let's just stick with residential.
Okay.
120 might be for 2 hours though as well, rather than might be 2 hours or
It's
more.
some
1
big
hour.
meetings and whatever, but I'm just saying on average, if you've got 70 employees willing to work 40 hours a week, an average work week, that's 2,800 hours that you would want your business to be booked for,
Yeah.
to be fully profitable.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? 2,800 hours. And currently, she's booked for 700 hours on average. If there's 350 cleans and they're about 2 hours each, that's 700 hours. That leaves, even if we said 1,000 hours, that still leaves like 1,800 hours that are not booked in her business.
Okay.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, does
Yeah,
that
I
No.
get what you're saying, and I know that she wants the booking, but I guess where I'm coming from is she's overwhelmed and she needs to get her
Right.
staff in line. That's all. That's
Yeah.
really
Right.
we need to take things off her
So
plate before we add more booked
I
hours.
I know, but the monetary value of getting this stuff in order
Yeah.
and following up with people and making sure that they don't drop off.
Yeah.
Have you asked her how long a customer stays on board for weekly cleans? Or what is her churn rate like? Those are questions that we want to know answers to, right? Because when you go and
This
pitch
helps, yeah.
this, it doesn't matter. You can pull any number you want up, right? If she's pulling in $42,000 a week right now, on average, and if she's paying, you know, I don't know, it's so hard to know. These numbers aren't all accurate, but there's lots of room for her to make probably an additional 10K a week just by putting these systems in place.
Yeah.
Right? So it's being able to structure it and show her that.
Yeah.
And what you're quoting makes more sense.
Yeah. I get what you're saying. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Right? It's really hard just to be like, well, what's your budget? Well, I don't know. But if we show the opportunity cost right now and approach it that way, these
Yeah.
are your numbers that I've broken down. You know, these are some more questions that I have for you, right? Because then when you're saying to somebody, it's going to be a $10,000 onboarding and setup, it makes sense because they understand that they can make that back by having these systems in place within a couple of weeks, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And Brian just said the exact same thing that she said. There is time and lifestyle back that is
Yeah,
more important than just the money,
it
right?
is.
So that's
Yeah.
what she's looking
And peace
forward
of
to. She
mind.
needs the time, the peace of money, because I can't imagine she has much of a lifestyle. She's doing everything by paper. She's probably just run ragged, trying to
Yeah.
just try and keep that stuff. And I bet you she's working like 12 hours a day or more, just trying to keep stuff under control because she's the only one doing it.
Yeah, she just
Yeah.
got out of the hospital and her goal is just to have breakfast with her family. She's never done that. So she's
Yeah,
been doing this for 20 plus years. She has all the same customers. She's like, I don't know, she resonates with me. She really cares and works her balls
totally.
off and she needs some help. And I just, I don't know. I don't know. I want to help her.
So when you think about a proposal, what are your thoughts around what you want to like pitch to her, present to her?
So, like something like the standard operating procedures in there, I feel like that's a monthly service where we're working together. So,
Yeah.
a couple $100 a month. I kind of want to throw in free social media for 6 months. She has no Facebook page, a website build. I don't know what is that, $500, for just a basic website. And the scheduling, that would be a setup fee, and then a nominal monthly fee. I don't want to reamer on that. And then missed call, text back. I don't know. Am I rambling? I don't know.
Nope,
No, you're good.
nope.
It's so good to be able to talk about this stuff out loud, right?
Well, so mostly each one of them, it was like the basic shit. It's $297 for missed call text back plus $297 setup fee. Eventually, I'd like to make the setup fees more expensive, and so I've been telling everybody that my setup fees are half price for the month of March. So I'm thinking eventually my setup fee will be $497 and then $297 a month for stuff. So the reoccurring for her would be. And I think with the missed call text back, that's just a setup fee,
Yeah, that
right?
one's
That's
simple. Like you just have to basically turn that on.
yeah, I'm turning that on. So and I thought, all right, $297, I'll turn that on. And then a website and but the standard op where I go in and we're building these things with her and I'm adding stuff on, that's where I think the real value comes in. Like I build
Yeah,
this thing and then I make sure it's catered to you and your business and
yeah,
a
absolutely. And
relationship.
don't be afraid to break things out into like a phase one, phase two,
Yeah.
kind of thing. And when you're doing a proposal where somebody says, I want all these things done, I found,
It's too
yeah, it's best
much.
to do a phase one, phase two, and don't give them we're gonna do all these things for you. This is what you said you wanted. This is what we're gonna do. Um, and just break it out. Make sure you have enough time. Like month one, we're gonna do this. Month two, we're gonna do this. Month three, we're gonna do this for her and get things right because you'll overwhelm yourself trying to fulfill those services and not have enough time to even bring on more clients. You
So
Yeah.
need
right
Well,
to
and
now I
reach out
have
to
it
other
also,
where it's
people.
a 6 month deal where I tell them
yeah,
it's not a contract. You can back out and change this at any time. Uh, but we do it within 6 months and we start here and then we work
yeah,
here. The way that we talked about it was just doing everything in bite-sized pieces.
yeah,
Yes.
And I told her, listen, so I want you to, I'm going to send you a proposal because the half price onboarding fees, let's go ahead and knock out here it is. And then just the first week is just getting your phone registered. And
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And then the
yeah,
second
like
week is,
access to our social media,
yes,
right?
yeah, yeah,
And so for sure, I love presenting things in, there's a start date and there's an end date, and they can actually see what they're going to end with over this amount of time. And then I would also ask her to carve, can we have one standing appointment a week together?
yeah,
Because she's busy. So for you to get what you need from her is not going to be easy,
right.
right? Um, all of
Yep.
that. Because yeah, you can build a website, that's great, but you need content from her. You need things from her, and that's going to be
And if
that's
she does she
that's
not have a website right now at all?
Mm-mm.
And
Or
like
she's
social media. She has nothing. She has a really shitty logo.
if you were going to do a website for a company, cleaning company her size, and if you haven't quoted it yet, I wouldn't go any less than $3,000 for like building a good website for
yeah.
her.
Yeah, I don't know
Like
how to build a good website.
But
I'm just
that's
saying,
where
yeah,
like
I'm
Sam,
saying like
you
it's
want to build a team. You want to be able to pay somebody to help you with this stuff, help you
right.
deliver
So
on
five
these
hundred
things.
dollars, you won't be able to do. You'll be able to build her a one-page website that has her
Yeah.
like her brand on it, like her logo and stuff on it, you might be able to find somebody to just do that for $500. I mean, build a like a 3-page website or something like that for her thing, but depends on what she's doing. Most likely, I can also, and I don't know the lady at all, but she very well could just be very specific about what you're going to build as well with it too. I found that's just being super important, just being specific about if you're going to build a website, being very clear for $500, that's fine. But just we're going to build a 1-page website and it's going to have home, about, contact us.
Yeah,
And
that's
then
what I put on there.
we'll have a section for commercial, we'll have a section for residential, and there'll be a form on there to contact us. Kind of thing. That's what we'll build for $500, because you don't want her being like, okay, you're gonna build me a website for $500. I want this 10-page website that has full all these
Right.
things on it, right? So
I
just being
guess I kind of felt like we're
specific.
starting from nothing. She's got absolutely nothing. So
Yeah.
jumping to like a robust website, I don't even think any of that would mean anything to her. Like just having
Yeah.
something functional right now. So probably, like I had said, a home page, and about us, and a booking page, $500. But
Yeah.
now that you're saying like the residential and the commercial, that needs to be added. So
Yeah, like
yeah,
I've got whole I also have like whole systems that I put together for building out websites for service businesses like that too. And you want to I like to anyways, is just break out every service that they do as well, create content for that. It's just for building up
oh, I
the
like that.
website,
Okay,
right?
well, it slowly is becoming a $2,500
Well,
website.
you
It
know,
does. It does,
can be like
Sam.
you go, yeah, you go for like what is each service that you have, right? You can have a services
Yeah.
page, and then
Because
like we
SEO,
do this and
right?
we'll do that thing and we'll do this thing. You know, they have all that. I love putting that on a local business's website.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, I'm
yeah,
so
about
glad I
that.
talked to you guys before I sent
Then
the proposal.
contact page, get a quote page.
Yeah.
You got like you have your booking page kind of thing. Your homepage that has, I don't know if she wants to eventually have a blog or something like that down the road too, but you know, it's just those things for Mark. And I mean, the nice thing is those things can be built later as well. So that's where I'm just saying for $500, you might just want to have a one page,
Initial, like an
you
initial
know, a
lander.
one page landing page that has a few of those things on there.
Yeah.
But
So
you might want to, I mean, down the road, you could be like, I'm going to propose this as well. This is going to be a
Well, and you know
website.
what I love to say is we can get you going on these basic things. And then once that's done and you're happy and you see how much extra time you have, you're going to have so many more ideas for growth. And that's where we can continue to talk about bigger projects.
When
But
you're
for right
talking to that lady.
now,
Yeah.
square one, a basic lander with a chat widget on it and a forum is probably fine to get started.
Since
You
she's
know,
probably
does
not,
she have,
she hasn't been using it yet anyways.
I
So
mean, she's grown this much without
it's
that
also
stuff.
just a really good example of how you can grow a business without all the technology stuff that everyone's worried about.
Very cool. Very cool. And then
Bill, you know what I mean?
we're gonna create these systems for you and take back some time. Missed call text back is gonna be huge. So A2P registration, that setup, whatever. Calendars, I might start off with just one, you know, before saying you're going to build 70, you're going to, you know, the whole entire business, you know, do you have one really good service provider that we could build a calendar for and start testing things with, who's been with you for, you know, like one example or one person's
Test it
schedule
out before
we
you move
can,
everybody over.
you know, before you take everything off paper. I think we talked about this on our Friday call as well. When we were talking about calendars, and as a business owner, I ran my salons off paper as well for years. All my service providers, I would go and add up what they would write down what they charged on the calendar in on paper, and I would go. That's how I did my payroll. Everything was there, and switching over can be really scary because at least it's
Yeah.
on a pen and paper. What if the computer crashes? What if the software isn't working one day? What if like those are the fears that we have right around that? So I would just start off small. We're going to do one setup, get that going, and slowly drip it and build it out over this 3 month period or whatever, right? So break it up. Google My Business. Does she have Google My Business set up?
No.
Like
Yeah,
that'll be a huge one. Like
Brian
that.
Brian mentioned
No.
here that he would,
Oh,
for what we've been talking about, he said he would do $5,000 setup and $697 a month without ads.
yeah,
That's what from what he's been hearing, kind of thing.
yeah,
And he said, yeah, sell her Yext too, and pitch the web chat widgets too. Like
yeah,
we're going to do the chat widget on your site too. So, and then Yext is just a good upsell for SEO for her as well.
yeah. But again, she's grown this business without an online presence. So I think focusing on taking time off, taking time back for her,
Yeah.
keeping her staff motivated and excited, right? So
Yeah.
that she's not dealing with turnover of employees. I would think that'd be a big one for her.
Yeah.
Employee turnover. So we can talk about like the reward system, invoicing, some of those things, and then setting up one calendar and one basic lander. But yeah, I would say 5K onboarding. And right now, if you sign up by the end of the month, you can have it 50% off, paid in full.
Yeah.
Or you could create almost a monthly payment. You could say 2K a month. And we're gonna do this month 1, month 2, month 3,
Plus her monthly
plus
subscription
a
as well.
monthly fee for the software, right? And you want to keep that separate so that when your services are done for any reason, she's still just paying you monthly for the software,
Yeah.
right? Always keep that very, very clear and very separate, because you don't know. 2 months from now, she could be like, you know what? Whatever. Like, I don't want to do anymore. I'm good. Then cool. Now you're just on this system and it's so much a month, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Brian said, don't give away the $2,500. Make it a discount with an annual contract. Maybe he can explain that a little bit more.
Well, maybe what he means is like if you sign up for a year of this software, a contract to use the software,
Oh,
that monthly
yeah.
payment,
Clear that.
then we'll give you your onboarding at 50% off.
That's a great idea.
Yeah. Because then they're on we've got clients that pay for a full year of the software in advance. So we'll say $297 a month, or pay for a full year in advance and we give you 2 months free. That's something that we offer for the software. I can send you examples of tons of different proposals, but a website is a separate option. I wouldn't lump a website in with any of this. If you want to give her free social media for 6 months, that's amazing. But then you need to think about what you would actually charge for that service and what you're going to offer.
Yeah.
Do you have thoughts around that?
I mean, this was just like really basic. And again, I would say it was $297 a month, and I'm just posting a basic thing every day. Just on Facebook. That's it. Just Facebook.
Yeah. You would include that in the $297 a month free
Mhm.
social media?
Mhm.
And what about engagement and messages, answering messages back and stuff like that? That's on her.
Yeah.
Like, are you creating another job for her, another thing to add to her to-do list by offering that?
I don't know. She wants social media.
Okay.
She wants a Facebook page.
Okay. And you would be setting up a Facebook page for her?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's value. So when you're including all that into a proposal, you're offering a lot of stuff for free.
Yeah.
So just something that I've struggled with through the last 10, 15 years now working with Jason is, and it's fucked me many times,
Yeah, I'm worried I'm gonna fuck myself.
You are.
I
I'm
am,
telling you with
because I'm
so
gonna
much
I
love,
feel like
you're
I'm
about to
over
fuck yourself.
promising.
Because do you know why? It's like I'm gonna do a really good job and they're gonna see how great I am and they're gonna
Yeah,
appreciate me and then they're gonna pay me more money after they see that. And
Well,
it
that's
doesn't
wrong.
yeah,
work
Don't do
that
that.
way. And
It
the
does. It
less
never
you
works that way.
charge, the less you charge, the bigger headache that person is. It just is.
yeah,
It just honestly is.
yeah,
So
Yeah, I
if she's bringing in, she's easily clearing like 42K a week,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Easily. I bet you, we haven't even touched on the commercial side of things. So
if she's doing 350 a week at 120 a pop, that's
that's
40,000 a week.
42,000 a week. So if you can present to her, I'm going to take time back off your plate. We're going to create space for you to think about your business and plan and grow it in a
Yeah.
systemized way.
Yeah.
That is worth thousands and thousands of
Yeah, and
dollars to
Brian
her.
said, if you're going to be involved like that too, you should be charging 1,500 to 2,500 a month for your time and like your ongoing coaching and business building and stuff like that as well.
Yeah. But I put an end on it, right? So anytime we join a program, we spend a lot of money on those things. There should be an end date, an end result, a way that this is going to wrap up. And then if you want to continue paying for services, marketing services, then we can chat about that.
Yeah,
But
we're gonna do
initially,
this for 6 months and then reevaluate where we're at.
yeah.
That's free. That's free
So,
to
you know,
do.
you could come up with two different plans, like a 3 month more intense plan or a 6 month longer roadmap plan, right? And just take the amount of money it's going to cost and either it's
Yeah, like I mean,
less
yeah,
monthly for 6 months.
we've been there with like big projects with businesses doing big things like this, and they do take time, money, energy, and
Yeah.
if you don't say upfront how much money you need, you will run yourself ragged trying to provide the service that you said that you would do while
Yeah. That's
making
what I'm
zero
afraid of.
dollars.
Yeah. That's what I'm
Right?
Resentment
And
starts
you
to
will hate it.
happen.
You will absolutely hate what you're doing, and you won't be able
Yeah.
to provide the service that you said that you were going to provide.
Yeah, yeah. That's
Right?
the over promise under deliver. I'm afraid of that. Can I tell you why I'm
Yes.
here? I'm in this place for two reasons. One, you already know I'm afraid. I'm afraid. But two, the other thing is that her family owns like 25 restaurants.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And so it's like, man, I really want her to like me and maybe she'll give me more business. But just like you guys are saying, as I'm doing this, I'm like, I feel like I'm painting myself in a corner. How am I ever
You
going to
are.
bring on another business if I don't have any time to do anything
You won't
ever?
be able
Right.
to.
And you
And
know
you're
what?
not going to show up as an authority offering everything for free
Yeah,
either.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
there's a lack of
Right.
respect there
Yeah, yeah.
instantly. It doesn't
And
matter.
and you know what? It's psychologically it comes from like that fear of rejection, but like the need for approval. You want
Yeah.
someone
Yeah.
to be like, you're
Yes.
doing a good job. I know Chandel's had some clients and we talked about this where she's just like, you've done like, we'll do this for free. We'll just do that. We'll just do that. We'll just do that. And she's like, I just wish they would say thank you. And they never say thank you. And they're like, if I
No.
just do this for free right now, we'll get something else down the road, right? They'll see how good
Yeah.
of a job that I'm doing, exactly what she said, and then they'll pay me more money later. They will never do that. They will never
They
be
end
like,
up
you know what,
getting
you're doing
pissed
such a good
off and
job.
leaving.
Let me double what I'm paying you, you know,
They
kind of
don't.
thing. Never. So
No.
you need to set up your expectations from the beginning of what you're delivering, how much you're charging, and what you're worth. For that, you have to do that, or else you'll never get paid that. And then she'll respect that too if you're honest about
Yeah.
what's happening, how much you're charging, what you're delivering, and being clear about those kind of things. she'll be happy to pay that. You know, if you can say this is what I can offer and this is what we can do, um, she'll go for that. That's not the problem. But yeah, Brian said don't create yourself a job, and that's not why we're here too. Is like, I mean,
Yeah.
we've done that in the past where, you know, all of a sudden we're working full time for one client. And then we're like, we realize that we're doing that, and we're like, we need to charge them more. And then you go back to them and are like, we need to charge you more. And they're like, I think we're done. You know, or not, we're done, but it's like, you know, it's like then there's this whole fight, then it causes a weird dynamic
It
after
does.
too,
Or
right?
like, or it's unclear of like what you're offering because you're
That's
offering
been another problem.
everything, right? And then next thing you know, you shudder when you see an email coming in from that person because there's just resentment there. So if her family owns 25 restaurants, you show up as the expert right now. Listen, here's your options. Option number one is 10K to get going. You sign up by the end of the month, I'll knock 50% off, but you sign a contract that you're going to use the software for a year at $297 a month. This is the container.
I
This
would
is what
have
you're
like
gonna
we
get.
if we're gonna do calendar stuff too, it should be higher as well. But yeah,
And then you're gonna get my team who can help you build this. Where it's not just you, you've got a team, right? If you're gonna build a website, you need somebody to help you with that, right? If you're gonna do social media and you're gonna start offering that from your business, then you're going to probably want to hire a VA that can help you with that stuff, right? So you are building your business. You need to charge for it. If you start off high, but it's clear enough, it's easy to say to her, was that too much? Like, is that too much, right? Then it starts the conversation. It starts the conversation. But if you start off really low, then there's nowhere to go from there. And then
yeah,
on top of that, then she's telling her family, I've got this person who's so cheap, like so cheap. Like it's cheap. There's no reason.
yeah.
She's
I think
making
I
a
think we've
killing
had
off of
people
her
say that before
business,
too about things.
like paying people next to nothing. I want to know like what she's charging per clean. I would love to know that.
I think you said
You
120
know,
per week.
I think that's a guess though, right?
Yeah,
No, it's a text. She texted me all of
Okay.
her stuff. It's
Okay.
by square foot. So like a 2,500 square foot bi-weekly is 110. A,
Yeah.
th- a th- 3,000 square foot home is 130.
Perfect. So she's got her prices all set. A question would be is how long do these customers stay with you? How often does a weekly or bi-weekly customer or client stop? Because implementing the reward system for that type of a business, amazing.
But she wants the rewards. That's
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's what can I send over to you to use as an outline?
I mean,
Like
I mean, put it together, and if you want to have Chandel review it
okay.
too, that doesn't hurt.
whatever you're thinking financially speaking, do like at least times five.
Yeah, like
You
um,
know, $2,500 is not bad for a website.
no, not at
Jason
all.
has charged like $10,000 for a website.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
You know, like it's
yeah.
you need to wrap your head around that it's okay to practice asking for lots of money,
Right.
And
like whatever.
you have to remember too, and this is one of the hardest things I think for us to get our head wrapped around when you're doing it, this whole agency type things, you have to think about what the client will pay and not what you would pay. Like not being like, well, I wouldn't want to spend more than $500 on a website.
Mm-hmm.
She's got a company that's making 160,000 a month. She can probably afford to spend some money on a website and have a good website built. that is going to be like a really good high quality one, because it sounds like she wants like to be able to manage things and control things and things to look good to represent her business. That would be important to her, right? And then also for the monthly fee for scheduling and stuff like that, there's still, you have to remember with that too, there's support that goes with it. There's questions, there's follow-up, there's like setup, there's maintenance, there's updates. So if you're just charging 297 a month, but she's got 70 employees in there and she needs new calendars built because staff are coming in and going out, then you have to be clear that there's an additional fee for that extra work as well. So there's just things to think about just to make sure that you continue to get paid on it. And um yeah, there's been too many times in the last like 20 years where we've said that we'll do too much for not enough pay, but then also done stuff for free and not being clear on what they're paying for. We lost a client. We are doing an amazing job with the client. They're paying $2,000 a month. We are running Facebook advertising, running campaigns. She got like $400,000 in contracts from it. They were a landscape design company. But because they said, hey, we need this done and we need this done, and Chandel was the point of contact, and Shan was like, okay, yeah, we'll do that. Oh, we'll just do that for free. Oh, we'll just do that in because you're paying us this much money already. We'll just add that in. It came down. She had a meeting with her investors, the other people who are involved with the business, and they said, what are we paying them for? This month, they're doing this, this, and this. This month, they did this, this, and this kind of thing. And they're completely different things. And then this month, they only did this thing. So what are we actually paying them for? It seems like we're way overpaying them because on month 2, they did all this stuff, but in a month 3, they didn't do any of that stuff. So why are we paying them that? And then she was like, my business partners said we have to cancel, you know,
Yeah.
and we got them a ton of got them a ton of contracts, a ton of work and stuff like that. But the problem is we weren't clear on the services we were providing and how much they were paying for those services, which
Yeah.
screwed us in the end, even though we were doing a fantastic job. But if
Yeah.
we
That
if
was
we
like
would
one
have
of my
been
first
like,
clients
if we
that,
would have been like, here's an invoice for you want website updates done, cool. Here's a $1,500 invoice on top of what you're paying. For that, they would have been perfectly fine because then they would have had a paper trail of this is exactly what we're paying for. And we can approach this with like clarity and we're confident about what we're getting versus being confused. So
yeah.
that's just the thing.
Yeah. So like know your numbers, really think about what it's time that we're saving her, peace of mind that we're saving her. But also the growth side of things, right? If she's got that many people on her payroll, if she's got room to add a lot more jobs. So then the next thing is lead generation and stuff, right?
Mhm.
To help her grow. So
And
I would start off fairly high
I
to get
would
the initial
definitely,
setup.
yeah, and I would definitely center your entire proposal around saving her time, and letting her enjoy time with her family. And so like, hey,
Yeah.
we're going to do this and this is what the outcome is going to be from that. Like, here's how we're going to help you with that. Here's how our goal for this is to save you time so that you can spend more time with your family and, be more clear about what you're doing with your business. So that's where I would head. That's where the whole psychology thing would come in, where we're talking to them about, yeah, what they're doing anyways, about how that's where it comes in about how we're solving their problems versus like here's the features that we have. Do you know? Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's amazing. You're making some really good contacts.
it
Don't sell
is.
yourself short. That's
You're
all.
doing an awesome
Like
job.
I wish I would have had somebody say to me when I first started offering services and writing proposals and stuff that um if people actually look at you in a more, they respect you more when you are just really clear and you need to ask for what you're worth,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And then always try and think, if I had to outsource this, if I had to pay somebody to do this for me, for the agency to help you grow, what would you be paying somebody else to do it?
Yeah.
So that you can keep growing. Because
Right.
you be stuck, you'll just be stuck with that one client. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a big one. It's a big complicated one. With
Yeah.
it is with
Just break it
figuring
up into phases, do
those
baby steps.
calendars,
And
baby steps. Yeah.
yeah, I like baby steps.
So when do you have another meeting set up with her right now, or
No,
what is
she wants to pay. She's waiting on an invoice. I told her I'd have
okay?
one by the end of the day.
Okay. And so was there any talk at all about money at this point? Has there been
No, I
any?
just said, what is your budget? And she said, I will, whatever you charge me, I'm going to make happen.
Okay, perfect.
Perfect.
So
Just
then
make
why
sure you're
don't you
charging
write
enough.
something up and send it over to Jason and I, and we can take a look over it if you want before you send it over.
Okay.
And then we can send it over.
Yeah.
And
Thank
like
you.
I'm
Yeah, I
gonna
just want to make
say,
sure that
yeah,
you're getting what you need out of it, because I know we've been there where you're not, and I mean,
yeah.
whatever, and it sucks.
Yeah, and I could feel it. You know what I mean? Like when I was feeling really nervous, it was like, that's it. It felt almost like self-sabotaging,
Yeah,
like
It
the
is,
way I'm
yeah,
doing this, nobody's gonna win.
yeah.
yeah,
For sure, for sure. And I'm so proud of you for recognizing that and jumping on this call and sharing that.
yeah.
Like that's hard.
Well, there's
So
a
Oh,
good
part of you
for
that just
you.
wants to send it and get it over with. And I was like,
Yeah.
just get a grip.
yeah, yeah. Oh, I mean, we're like that every time I send a proposal.
Well, thank you guys.
Okay, do
Thank you
it.
guys. Do
I
it.
usually write, lots of times I write it. I'll go through it. Sometimes then I'll go and double it, because I'm being stupid. So go through and like, here's what I feel like I should charge, but here's what I should charge, and so then yeah, there's times where I'll go back in and I'll definitely like reevaluate everything, think about it for a minute. How much work is this actually going to take? And then put that out. And I think it's great to come up with, this is phase one, phase two. This is what we're going to work on over the next 6 months. That's awesome. We're going to do these couple things first, get that rolling. And then, this is what you're going to pay, and have her pay a monthly fee. And if you're going to talk to her once a week and find stuff out, yeah, you have to do the monthly. You have to talk to her once a week at least to get that information. And even if you have to stop in there or whatever, but just make sure you get in charge. You're paying for that, or she's paying for that. And
Mm-hmm.
get a really good testimonial out of it too. You know what? Yeah. If
But
you're,
it won't matter what you're charging her. Like you're not going to get a better testimonial because it was cheaper.
no,
Yeah,
Is
right.
the biggest
not at
mindset
all.
shift that I had to go through is like, if it's not for her right now too, then just what does life look like if she doesn't take action and make these changes? Like remember that, tap
Yeah.
into that, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, wrap a nice little bow on it. We could do a 3 month, program where it's going to be more every month for 3 months,
Yeah.
or 6 months, whatever. Come up with a couple different things and send it over and we can help you with it. But
Thank you
I
so much.
say, yeah, thousands of dollars, not like $500 to get started.
No, she has 70 employees.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's got like $1 million business, and she's not doing anything. So she needs help.
Yeah.
She needs an advisor. She needs someone on her side to push her in that direction. And she seems to really like you. So I would go for it.
Thank you guys. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then I mean, maybe the next thing is I know that that she could tap into a lot more business for you. Then maybe that's where, like, by the way, I've got an affiliate program or whatever, or a loyalty and rewards program. So if you send somebody to me, then I'll give you 1 month of social media for free.
Yeah.
Or like, then maybe I'll give you like a kickback, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like
Because
that.
then it shows that there's value there. Like free social media is not, I don't know. It's not, social media is not whatever. Like it's still work,
It's still work.
you know?
Yeah.
So yeah,
All right,
write
cool.
go things up, send them over, and we can help you with it.
Awesome.
And
Thank
you can
you.
easily send her out something.
Thanks,
Yeah.
team.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Well, yeah, absolutely. So with that, bye-bye.
Hey Brian, thank you for being a part of this chat
Yeah,
today. That
absolutely,
was
man. I
awesome.
appreciate it. I hope you guys have an awesome rest of your Monday, and we'll talk to you guys either tomorrow or Tuesday for sure, or Wednesday. Okay, you guys,
Every
talk to you
day.
later. All right. Okay, bye.
Bye.